What if you don't exist? Not metaphorically, literally. What if everything you know, your life, your body and memories are just an echo inside the mind of something long gone? A flicker of thought in a universe that has already ended? Yes, you feel real. You see, touch, and remember. But yet, you live in a cosmos that began billions of years ago when galaxies formed, stars ignited, and life appeared on a small blue planet. And eventually, you arrived, conscious and curious, staring at the same night sky that made you. But what if none of that ever truly happened? What if this very moment is nothing more than the memory of a universe dreaming of itself? Crazy, right? It's also scary because you can't prove it isn't. Especially because everything you experience, right sound to color and even the faintest thoughts comes from inside your brain. And it's this organ that translates those electrical signals into a story it calls reality. But what if those signals were random noise? What if your memories were built from nothing? How would you ever know? Yeah, it sounds like philosophy, maybe even madness, but it isn't. This idea falls straight out of modern physics, which has predicted the same laws that explain stars, energy, and time itself. And if those laws are right, then long after the last star dies, the universe could stir again, and that spark of awareness might be you. So, let's start at the beginning. Let's try to look at the what if that points to the fact that you could be the dream of a dead universe. And to do this, we need to look at the concept of time, death, and chance. Let's start with time, not how we feel it, but what it really is. You see, if you pour a drop of red ink into a glass of water, within seconds, the ink swirls and spreads until the whole glass turns pink. You'll never see it reverse because it would be impossible to do. But according to the laws of physics, such an action can be undone. And this is because on the microscopic scale, nothing truly distinguishes past from future. Molecules collide and move according to reversible rules. Every motion that happens could, in theory, happen backward. So why does everything we see, including you, only move one way? Now, if that happens, then why do people age? Why does time seem to drag us forward from birth to death? Well, the answer lies in entropy, which is basically the measure of disorder in a system. And this also means that there are far more ways for things to be messy than to stay neat. So when the ink spreads, it's not following a rule. It's following probability, which simply shows that chaos simply has more options. We also have to remember that our universe began in an extremely ordered state, which was hot, dense, and full of potential. Since then, it's been drifting toward disorder, from structure to collapse, from energy to exhaustion. That drift is what gives time its direction. So, time doesn't flow forward. The universe just keeps unfolding into more likely states. The past also feels different from the future because the past was more organized. The future will almost certainly be messier, more broken down, more random. Now imagine that same process happening not in a glass of water, but across everything. Every star that burns, every planet that crumbles, every life that ends. All of it is the universe spreading its energy thinner and thinner. Eventually, that spread reaches its final stage. Heat death, a universe so vast and cold that no atoms can organize into anything new. No stars, no planets, no souls. It's the ultimate stillness, the silence after everything. And yet, even that silence isn't absolute. Because in the emptiness, random quantum flickers never stop. Tiny fluctuations of energy still appear and vanish, like static in an infinite void. Most mean nothing, but sometimes, impossibly, they form something structured. A small pocket of order, a spark of pattern, maybe even a thought. If the universe lasts forever, those sparks could recreate anything. Every planet, every life, every mind, purely by chance, including yours. At that point, the question stops being poetic and becomes literal. Could you be one of those sparks? A mind flickering briefly in a dead universe, convinced it's alive? To find out, we need to follow the story of the universe all the way to its end, and then beyond it. Time keeps pushing forward, or so it seems, but zoom out far enough and it's not time that's moving. It's the universe running out of order. Every shining star is a small engine burning the last traces of cosmic structure. Fast forward 100 trillion years. The final stars flicker out. The sky, once full of light, turns black. Go further still, past numbers that barely have names. Matter itself starts to unravel. Protons decay, galaxies dissolve, and space becomes a smooth ocean of near-nothingness. This is the heat death of the universe, the moment when all usable energy is gone, and nothing new can happen. No light, no change, just endless stillness. It sounds like an ending, but physics doesn't treat it that way. Even in perfect emptiness, the vacuum of space never truly rests. It flickers with quantum noise, particles appearing, colliding, and vanishing again in trillionths of a second. Most of these flickers mean nothing, but if the universe lasts forever, infinity gives randomness enough time to build anything, even something as complex as thought. Somewhere, someday, a perfect pattern of particles could form by chance. A brief structure with chemistry, impulses, and memory, a mind that exists for an instant believing it's alive. It wouldn't know it was a fluctuation. It would think it was human. It would think it was you. This idea isn't science fiction. It's a prediction born from the same physics that explains stars and atoms. It even has a name, the Boltzmann Brain. And here's where the paradox begins. If the universe truly lasts forever, these random self-aware flashes would vastly outnumber all real, biological minds that ever evolved. For every living person who ever existed, there would be infinite phantom copies, thoughts without bodies, drifting in the dark. Statistically, that means you're far more likely to be one of those minds than a physical being in a real universe. If that's true, then nothing around you, the planet, the stars, even this moment, ever existed. It's all just the story your neurons are generating before they vanish. And you'd never know. Every test, every observation, every bit of logic you use to prove your existence would be part of the illusion itself. That's the loop at the heart of the problem. If our best theories say most observers are fake, then the theories themselves can't be trusted because the minds forming them would be fake too. The deeper physics tries to explain the universe, the more it suggests we might not truly be in it. The better we understand reality, the more fragile it becomes. So the question lingers, are we living beings born from a real cosmos, or temporary thoughts flickering inside its corpse? To find an answer, we have to keep going to the very edge of reason. Now, if the story stopped here, it would be unbearable. It would mean that we are saying that you are a flicker of awareness adrift in a dead cosmos, dreaming of a life that never existed. Honestly, it's a haunting image. Consciousness surviving longer than the stars themselves, trapped inside eternity with nothing but its own illusion for company. But that isn't where the story ends. Because the same physics that led us to this nightmare also gives us a way out. The Boltzmann brain idea depends on a single assumption, that the universe will last forever. Infinite time means infinite chances for random minds to form. But what if that assumption is wrong? Cosmologists aren't sure the cosmos is truly eternal. The universe's expansion is driven by something mysterious called dark energy, a force we barely understand. For now, it's pushing galaxies apart faster and faster. But if that energy ever changes, so does everything. Some physicists believe dark energy could one day reverse its effect, tearing space apart in what's called the Big Rip, a future where even atoms are pulled to shreds. Others suspect the opposite, that quantum effects could eventually cause the universe to collapse, triggering a new explosion, a big bounce, where the cosmos dies and is reborn again, endlessly cycling through creation and destruction. In both versions, time itself ends. And when time is finite, infinity disappears. That means the number of random fluctuations, those lonely, drifting minds, shrinks from infinity to almost zero. The nightmare evaporates. But even without the Boltzmann brain paradox, the question it raises still matters. What does it mean to be real? Because whether you are a being of flesh and blood or a thought flickering in the void, your experience feels authentic. The sensations, the pain, the joy, all of it is real to you. Consciousness, after all, doesn't need the universe to be vast. It only needs a moment to feel. And that's what gives existence its meaning. Not permanence, but perception. Reality, in the end, might not be something out there. It might be something we build inside our own awareness. Your universe is the one your mind constructs, from light, memory, and pattern. Whether it's physical or imagined, it's still the only one you can live in. So maybe existence isn't about proving the universe is real, but about experiencing it as if it is. In that sense, the idea of a dead universe dreaming isn't tragic at all. Imagine the cosmos, silent for eons, suddenly stirs, not with matter or light, but with thought. A flicker of memory rises in the dark, a trace of what once was. It wonders, remembers, feels. Maybe that flicker is you. Maybe every conscious being that has ever lived is the universe's way of remembering itself. For one instant, the void is no longer empty. It thinks, it feels, it remembers, and then it fades, leaving behind only the possibility that it could happen again. Maybe that's how the universe keeps itself alive. Not through stars or galaxies, but through awareness, through the dream of being seen, even for a moment. So, are you a brain floating in the void? Probably not. But the fact that physics even allows that question shows how extraordinary existence really is. Against the pull of entropy, against the collapse of everything into silence, something in the universe still organizes itself into awareness and calls it life. You, me, every mind that has ever wondered what it means to be here. Maybe that act of wondering is the universe waking up. And if that's true, then you are not the dream of a dead cosmos. You are the dream that makes it alive again.